All right, did that do it? Let's see. This thing's always finicky. Can you see or hear me right now, chat? Let me know.
Ontogeny.
You're on. Beautiful. How's the audio level? Is it okay? Excellent. Welcome back to Paleontologizing, everybody. It's so good to see you here. I'm streaming to you live from southwest Wyoming, and we're digging up a new species of armored dinosaur here today. I'm very excited to be able to share this with you. We're at a new site. This is actually my first time here, and oh man, we have got dinosaur bones coming out left and right here. We'll probably have some found live on stream today, so I'm really glad you could make it. If it's your first time, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So oftentimes that means I'm back home in my office, going over new scientific papers, answering viewer questions, interviewing other paleontologists remotely, all that good stuff, but it's summertime, and during the summers I go out and do fieldwork. So I'm here part of a crew working in the late Cretaceous Almond Formation in southwest Wyoming, and we've got several new species of dinosaur that we're excavating here, and I'm going to walk you through it to show you how paleontology actually works in the field, you know? Show, don't tell, as they say. I want to make you feel like you're really here. So, yeah, if you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. That's what these streams are all about, and yeah, let's see who we got here. Ash Odinson, welcome back. Gimpleg, Ms. Art Rules, Lenina, Ms. Drop Bear, Pack Backer, Nell, Gimpleg, Slug Biker, Disco Fountain. Hello, hello, everybody. How are you doing? Yeah. Wait, mail it to Danny. What is mail me what? What is this? I didn't make this command. What's that about? Anyway, it's good to have you here, everybody. Yeah, let's go take a look. We've got most of our crew here today. This is a site that's fairly near civilization here, and so we got to excavate this thing pretty quickly because it is kind of our most vulnerable site. Yeah, and. Yeah, right next to the road, literally on the road, yes. Welcome everybody to the ANKYLOSAUR site. There might be an official name for this site. I'm not sure what it is, but we can ask Ethan. But let's go take a look around. I also got to be really careful where I step over here because this whole area is just covered with bone. And it's right underneath the surface. This is kind of the opposite of the ceratopsian site. That one has got a ton of overburden, which is going to take a long time to remove, and we've had a lot of people working there for almost a week now. Just, you know, the whole time just trying to remove all the overlying sediment. Here, there's practically nothing. It's just bone layer right on the surface practically. It's pretty nice. It's a nice change of pace for a lot of the folks who are working the ceratopsian site recently. So, yeah. To start us off over here, this is our most recent bone that Josh has got here.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. You want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, talked a little bit on the stream the other day. I'm Josh. Yeah. I'm coming from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Nice.
Originally from Chicago. Representing McAllister College.
Very nice.
And I just found this femur from an ankylosaur.
Holy cow, yeah. Just right on the surface.
Right on the surface.
In fact, some of us were probably standing on this earlier when we were trying to clear away these bushes here.
We were definitely shoveling all over the top of it.
So yeah, crazy that it's just right here on the surface. But yeah, femur, this is the thigh bone of a big...
For reference.
So yeah.
Probably flipped around, I think. This is the knee.
Yeah.
Knee joint.
Yeah, so this would be the femoral head right here that fits into the acetabulum, the hip socket. So yeah, just found a little while ago. Yeah. Just today. So nice. That might be one of our better bones here so far. But yeah, we've got a bunch of different things, and we will continue to find more throughout the day. So cool. Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Yeah. Do we have any Minnesotans in the chat right now? Make some noise.
Oh yeah. Shout out the Twin Cities and Chicago.
Yeah, I was just there in November for the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology conference. Yeah, I like Minneapolis.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like good public transit. It was really nice to get from the conference center to the airport.
Yeah.
Just took the train there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me know if you get any comments.
Let's see.
Love to see it.
We've only got a few viewers so far. We're only at 132, but yeah.
Just like that. 130. A few. Just a few.
Giblix is not from Minnesota, but he'll be there in August and can't wait.
It's great during the summer.
Yeah, Disco Fountain says, I miss Minnesota. Yeah, nice. Anywho, yeah, good stuff. We got Peter over here doing some digging. Anything yet?
Nope. Nothing.
Peter, have we introduced you on stream yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
No. Hey, I'm Peter. I'm from Ohio, bouncing around between a few institutions right now. Just finished with my undergrad and going to start my PhD in the fall.
Nice.
Right now, I'm taking this area where we haven't really found anything, just taking it layer by layer to kind of probe for whatever we can find.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
yep.
And you're doing a really good job too. Very,
It'll be
very
nice.
clean.
It'll be nice to see some once I eventually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the way to do it, though. So.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Yep.
You used to work with Larry Whitmer, right?
I did.
On our streams every once in a while.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my undergrad advisor. With Allosaurus with him.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. This is where, and we've already jackets like a gypsona. This is an off-brand gypsona. We're not super happy with how it's turned, how the consistency is, but it'll do. And yeah, later I might sit down and might trench around this some more and then flip it, or maybe somebody else would do that. I wouldn't mind if that were the case.
Dump it in there.
But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to, Doug, you could.
Doug, you want to get all the dirt out of Danny's soda hole? Thanks, brother, man.
Here, I can move my gear out of the way.
Is that baby coming with us today?
Nice. Yeah, don't want to leave it. So again, this is one of those sites that we're trying to work pretty quickly because it's kind of near to some human habitation over here, and so we're trying to get this stuff out as quick as we can. It's important. New kind of Ankylosaur. Yeah. We've got our expedition lead, Ethan, over here. This whole
Hey
project
there.
is his baby.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chad.
How you doing, Ethan?
Good. How are you, Chad?
Yeah. How are you feeling about the site so far today?
Well, it's pretty sweet. We got bones all over. All sizes, big, small. From all parts of the body, we got probably a giant femur right here, maybe a little femur up there. All kinds of spikes from the back, little osteoderms or skin bones. So, potentially multiple individuals of a new kind of armored dinosaur.
Yeah, here let me show you the diagram. You can point some stuff out if you want to. I have a nodosaur here. We don't know if it's a nodosaur or an ankylosaurid.
So,
But
we've found this big bone that we're trying to get around right here, which starts where Quinn is, and the end is right here. We suspect because of its size that it's a big femur, which is basically the longest bone in the body, or thigh bone. And we've found a number of these little armor plates all throughout the quarry of many different shapes. We found some that are flat and wide and some that are like little blobs. These are called osteoderms, which means skin bones, and that's because these bones are nestled in the skin of the dinosaur and they don't attach to other bones. We don't know if we have a nodosaurid, which is a kind of ankylosaur that doesn't have a tail club, or if we have an ankylosaurid, which is a kind of ankylosaur with a big, fat, bony club on the end. But whatever we have, it's super cool. And we think that that bone up there might be another femur, and it's much smaller than this one. So if we're right about that, then that means we have a minimum of 2 individuals here.
really
which means
exciting.
we might have a bone bed of numerous ankylosaur dinosaurs.
Maybe we'll have an ankylosaurid and a nodosaurid. Who
Yeah.
knows? That would actually be really complicated. we maybe don't want that. I don't know.
Their relationship status would be unusual.
But yeah, good stuff.
It's big all over here.
Anyway, let me take a step back because we've got some more people watching. It's very nice. Well, this is going to be a fun stream for you. Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, again, some background here. We're working here in southwest Wyoming, and these rocks are about 73 million years old. So let's find our time chart on here. Let's use this one, shall we? Just for some context. There we go. So this is the history of our planet as an image. So 4.5 billion years ago, you have the formation of Earth, and it spirals up. 2 billion years ago, or maybe even 3 billion years ago, maybe even longer, you've got the first life forms. You keep spiraling around and around and around. First dinosaurs show up, let's say, here in the Triassic period. Dinosaurs continue through here until the end of the Cretaceous, when all of the dinosaurs go extinct except for birds. So we are, in these rocks here, right about there. We're right near the end of the Cretaceous period. So the Cretaceous ends, the age of dinosaurs ends 66 million years ago. We're digging in rocks about 73 million years old. So it's from the late Cretaceous. And yeah, this is an important fauna here, not only because there are no dinosaurs named from here yet, but this is kind of setting the stage for the last of the dinosaurs. Critters like Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops and Pachycephalosaurus, some of the very last dinosaurs. These are their predecessors here at like the Campanian-Maastrichtian boundary, just before the end of the age of dinosaurs, just before the Maastrichtian stage. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you've got any questions about that. And 3.5 billion. I know it's pretty early now, Charlie's Dragon. Yeah. Anyway, let's still debate it. But yeah, good stuff. Here, we'll check out over here. I know Jackson had a new bone over here earlier. Can I get you on camera, Jackson? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hello there, Danny Stream. This is my first time being on this stream.
Yeah, where are you from, Jackson?
I'm from Utah, Salt Lake City.
Nice.
I'm just here for fun. I'm not doing this for school or anything. Yeah, it's super cool. This is the first time I've actually peeled up bones, though, because mostly I'm doing overburden when I come here. So
we thought this would be a really nice opportunity for the overburdened folks to finally see some bones. So.
Yeah, finally see what we're out here working for.
We're really lucky to have Jackson here. Very hard worker.
Thanks. These are strawberry milk cartons.
Nice.
If you're in the Salt Lake area, I got them from my area. I'm sorry. Here is a fish vertebra.
Oh, another Melvius vertebra.
Yes.
Very nice.
Another Melvius over here. The main thing I'm trying to do is track. It's harder to see here, but on this side over here I'm working on. You can see there's all this orange kind of clay stuff here. The second I dug into this, we got it's either a vertebra or a toe bone.
Nice.
I'm not totally sure. And then I got this piece, which I accidentally cracked in half. But
it happens.
We did glue it back. It could be an extension of this bone. It could be something else. But so right. Watch this out so we can get to this orange stuff. Because so far it's been pretty good for fossils, and it's all over.
Very nice.
So, but yeah, this is my first bone I've ever dug up.
That's
awesome.
The
second bone I ever
dug up. Did you take a picture of it yet?
Yeah, I did. I sure did.
Nice.
Very excited about it.
Really cool that your first dinosaur you're digging up is an ankylosaur, too.
I know, yeah,
That's
very, very
super
cool.
common.
I really thought more low key, but I'm like, I'll take this. I'll take this just fine.
Pretty neat, yeah. And again, your first dinosaur that you've dug up is a new species.
Yeah, brand new species. Very excited about it.
That's pretty darn cool.
Just the coolest being out here.
Thanks, Jackson.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if I find anything else.
Appreciate that. Yeah, if anybody does, shout up and yeah, we'll come take a look. Let's see. Oh, there's Edie there under the truck. How you doing, Edie? How you doing? You want to say hello to chat? Hi, Edie. You staying cool under there? Yeah, look at you. Yeah. She's been our quarry dog for the past week. And, yeah, she gets very excited by the shovels. She loves to chase the dirt when the shoveling is going on. Whose setup is this over here? This is very clean and neat and tidy. Is that yours, Derek?
This?
No, this over here.
Oh, that's mine, yeah.
Wow, this is like, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. So this is Derek and Anna over here.
Hello.
Yeah. Where are you two from again? I forget.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yes.
Yeah. How you liking?
Trees a little.
Yeah, there's
and
not
the
a lot of
rivers.
trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
definitely not as humid, so
Definitely.
we'll take it.
It's like 20% humidity or something. We can actually get that pulled up in the chat if somebody wants to pull up the weather command. But yeah, any bones over here yet, or just?
Just rough.
Been here 4 days.
Oh,
and
shoot.
I have found 0 bones. I've been very close,
Yeah.
adjacent.
You'll get nice.
Yeah.
Nice. This is your first time digging dinosaurs?
Yeah, it is.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
I'm also kind of just here for fun, tagging along.
Cool.
So.
Yeah. Nice. Are you in Paleo, Derek?
Working at the Carnegie Museum.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, we got to hang out with Matt yesterday, which is always a treat.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I very graciously got to sleep at his Airbnb.
Very. That's
night.
where you went. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
escape
Nice.
the desert for a little shower.
Dinosaur ever getting this new species? I mean, how many
Yeah.
people get to say that?
I know.
Really cool.
Crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
Neat.
thank
Good luck.
you.
I hope you
Thank
find a
you.
skull right here.
Yeah. I'm hoping I finally find a great one.
And then, no, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not Pittsburgh, California. Yeah, that's near where I live. Got Spencer over here. How you doing, Spencer?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. Find anything yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah. That would be, yeah. See anything yet? Yeah, it's a Jurassic Park 3 reference. I did not do that as much, so we don't annoy,
Number
Luke.
1 fan.
But yeah. How are you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing good. Just trying to find bones right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to distract you. So let me just stick the camera in your face. But people are gonna want to see your shirt too.
Oh yeah, aliens.
Very nice. Free authentic face hugger.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Right?
Nice. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you find the other half of the skull over here.
Me too.
Oh, good stuff. Oh, and congratulations. Can I
Talk about that.
Huge congrats to Spencer. He emailed me or texted me. This is like 6 months ago, and for grad school. And then I sent you one, and I think the second time you texted me, I was out of town or something. Yeah, shoot. But that was the one that was successful, apparently. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing I didn't write you that letter. Going to grad school in Scotland.
Yep.
Going to be studying with Steve Brusotti, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Steve Brusotti on the Jurassic World series, right?
He is.
Yeah. So that's kind of perfect for you, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
Awesome, Spencer's a big JP fan, maybe not necessarily JW.
I like the first.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, again, half the skull.
I'll do my best.
I'm counting on it, Spencer.
I'll do my best.
Ooh. Again, how you doing, Doug? I dig the headscarf today. It's a good thing for today's site. Got James over here.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, James from Utah.
Yeah.
You from Salt Lake or South Jordan?
Yeah, it's about half hour. Salt Lake.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, near Thanksgiving Point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you work at the museum there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. We've done a couple of live streams from that museum, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
I think is it still mounted dinosaur skeletons? in
it
the museum in the
used to.
North?
So I
Okay.
talked with Rick, the paleontologist
Yeah.
there, and he told me that at one point it was, but things have changed since then. More museums have
Gotcha.
been built, and he actually is not even aware of what title it still has.
Okay. You've got some really cool stuff there. So.
Oh yeah, it's a great museum.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, you were here last year with us too, so welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah. Anything yet?
Yeah. So we have a piece here. I was brushing it away, and I found this right here. Is yet. We're just trying to be careful. Too much around here. We've been trying to take care of most of this stuff, get down and get to the lower part there. So it's a little tedious to try to get all this out of the way first, but it'll be worth it, I'm sure.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Colin over here.
Hello,
Colin
hello.
rode with me in the Prius to the site today.
We talked so much, especially about coyotes last night. There was about maybe 20 to 100 of them.
And they were all in your tent.
They were all in my tent. No, they were screaming. They were having a party last night. So not so much sleep, but I'm enjoying the vacation from Ceratopsian overburden today.
Yeah, shoot. Tell us a little bit about that site. And,
Ooh,
how long have you been there so far?
I have been at Ceratopsian every single day that I have been in the field. So it has been about...
Oh, last year too?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, so this is my first time at a different site. So I've been 3 weeks total solely at Ceratopsian. So I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, I've seen the ugly. And right now it is the destructive. So we have probably moved close to 20 tons of rock, maybe. That might even be an underestimate. There is cliff sides coming down from the absolute units that we have at that site.
So this is considerably different.
This is a vacation. The clouds.
No overburden here, just what there is, you could practically scrape away with your fingernails.
Yeah, so we probably have some nice little bone chunks that we have bagged up here that were found in James's area that just kind of like brushed loose. So nothing too identifiable, but every bit counts.
Awesome. Yeah. Good work. Yeah.
Thank you, Danny.
I hope you find a second skull over here.
I hope so. Two-headed dinosaur?
Yeah. It could be multiple, Or, it could be two-headed ankylosaur. Be a nature paper right there. How you doing, Quinn?
We're doing Danny.
Yeah, doing well.
What's up, chat?
Yeah.
Getting the Jesus out of its... It kind of has a Jesus look to it. Yeah.
Shroud of Turin ankylosaur.
There's the eyes.
Shout out
been in the desert too long.
Shout out to Jesus.
Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, most of you already know Quinn in the chat, but Quinn's from upstate New York.
Yep. From Buffalo.
Go Bills. Do you have a music recommendation for chat today?
Clarence Carter.
That's a good one.
Yeah, look up his discography. It's pretty good.
He's got some hits.
He does. Blind man can play. Just like a bunch of those 60s guys.
And we got Adam here too, aka AJ. AKA AJ?
Yeah. I go by a lot.
Yeah, I've been calling you AJ because I didn't want to get you mixed up with other Adam, but now it's just you, Adam, so I can start calling you Adam for now. Till other Adam comes.
You can call me AJ. It's funny, yeah, no. We're just trying to dig up bones. First kind of time actually seeing one in the field.
Yeah, what's it like?
I like working hard. I like the overburden, to be honest.
So this is one of our refugees from the Ceratopsian site again.
Refugee from Scotland.
Scottish refugee. We broke him out of the chain gang, and now he's here.
I'm finally up to good. But yeah, I really do like this. This is it's important work, and you can't have all fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is still fun. This is still fun.
I know.
There's got to be some misery, Yeah.
But
I don't want to dig up bones. I want to just destroy my body.
I really would rather just demolish the hillside.
Someone speaking the truth. This is the worst part. I've been waiting for
Jackets and overburden.
Yeah.
What do we have here, you think, by the way? I forget. And we've got new people in the chat, too, so...
It's a giant long bone of some kind.
So, that would make sense if it were a femur. If that were a tib, that would be nuts.
Yeah.
So, probably a femur.
Who knows?
I have no idea what it is, but it's probably a limb bone, and just given its size, it's probably a femur. This is actually kind of looking like the distal end of the femur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bump,
Sort of, yeah.
Bump.
Yeah.
So this might be the knee joint.
Articular end.
The top of the knee joint.
Yeah, that's what I was
there's a little bone there, too, actually.
It's pretty crazy stuff, Chad.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Get in closer. I don't know what's going on over here.
Zoom in and enhance.
90
Enhance.
Enhance. Excuse me, sir.
So, holy cow. You've worked 2 sites so far, and they're both new species. That's rare. I mean...
Yeah. Kind of insane for the first, trip out here.
Yeah. Thank you, Ethan.
Yeah, honestly, amazing opportunity, and I don't know. This is I've been able to talk briefly with the guys, but this is the kind of stuff you want to do before you die.
Yeah.
You just doesn't matter if your name gets on it. You just want to contribute to something important.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, we talk about that all the time, like just something bigger than yourself, being able to help advance science in some small way. Yeah. Pretty neat. And it's more than most people can claim. Yeah. Certainly. So, yeah. Yeah.
Very fulfilling.
Yeah. And Luke just going to town with that rock hammer over there.
Yep. He's a beast.
So we're hoping to get these jacketed today before we leave. We've got Doug put some side strips around this guy over here. Nice. No, I almost stabbed you. That's okay. So you can see how clean and white the new strips are going around there. Things get dirty pretty fast around here, as you can imagine. But yeah, this is what we call field jacketing. Let me talk about that for a minute, for anybody who might be unfamiliar with this process. So when we're digging up a dinosaur in the field, or any other kind of large fossil like this, you can't just pluck the bones out of the ground. These things have been here for 73 million years, give or take. They're very delicate, and sometimes they're kind of concreted onto the surrounding rocks. Digging them up and keeping them from crumbling when they're exposed to the air is, it's difficult, yeah, and it requires kind of a stepwise process that, you know, paleontologists like us employ in order to get these things out safely. So we do what we call plaster jacketing. So we'll build a protective cocoon around the fossils made out of burlap soaked in plaster of Paris. In this case, we actually have pre-soaked bandages that are like, they're gauze with plaster, with like plaster, you know, the plaster powder on them already. We soak that in water and then stick them on. That's what Doug is doing right over there. So it's almost like making a cast around a broken bone. This helps hold everything in place. It holds the bone and the rock together. You can, once you've got like a kind of a mushroom cap around it, then you dig down, you can flip the thing over, and hopefully it doesn't spill out of the bottom. It won't do it if you do it right, anyway. And then, yeah, you carve away some rock from the underside, you stick another layer on top of that, and then it's fully enclosed in this protective cocoon of plaster-soaked burlap. So you'll be seeing plenty of that for the rest of the summer, not just here in Wyoming, but also in Utah when I go do field work there in July and August, maybe September too. But yeah, we're starting to see the first glimpses of that today, which is really cool. All right. Oh, and we're getting a raid here from Tire Guy, is it? Well, well, well. Let's see here. FN Tire Guy. Doing something called Fork Knife. Very nice. Well, welcome to Paleontologizing. We're digging up a dinosaur here. I'm glad you could join us. I hope you had an excellent stream. Annie Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. This is what I do during the summer. This is kind of an unusual site for us because it is so close to civilization. But yeah, holy cow. We're digging up a new species of armored dinosaur here. So let me know if you got any questions. And Surf Wyoming says, hey, you're in my neck of the woods? Yes, indeed. Yeah, we are in southern Wyoming right now. Good stuff. Welcome, Northern Clom, Surf Wyoming, Sweet Cheeks. Who else? FN Tire Guy. Lost in Stereo. How is everybody? Hello, hello. Zaxanov, how are you doing? Hello, hello. Crank up the surf music. There we go. We normally listen to surf rock when it just plays in the background during my streams when I'm in my office. But out here, we just have the you know, the sounds of the wilderness and the occasional like train horn and stuff too. Again, we're a little bit too close to civilization for comfort here, which is why we've got to try and dig this site really quickly before yeah, before we get any poachers or looters or vandals coming through. And glad the weather's good. Thank you, Feral Terminator. Me too. And Wilderbeest says, what formation are you digging in? The Almond Formation, which is pretty obscure. There's no dinosaurs yet named from the Almond Formation, which almost guarantees that anything we find here is going to be new. And we have every indication so far that our horned dinosaur, our duck-billed dinosaur, and now our ANKYLOSAUR here are all new species, which is, again, really exciting. Oh, and Dr. Terra says, I have a question. So if it's multiple ankylosaurs, is it like Pinacosaurus with the multiple juveniles that stuck together until the end? or it's just new with social adults. These are definitely not juveniles here. I mean, you can look at that femur. It's at least not a hatchling or anything. This is a large-ish animal. That femur is just about as big as Josh's femur, as he showed you earlier. Thank you, Josh.
No problem.
So yeah, again, we're just at the very beginning of this site. We're just starting to figure things out. But it looks like we might have multiple individuals. We'll see. If we've got multiple femurs, if this is a femur and if that is a femur, then either we've got an animal with two different size femurs, which is very unlikely, or we've got multiple individuals. So yeah, well, later on we'll be able to clarify our MNI, our minimum number of individuals at the site. Figure out whether this is one individual or a bone bed. Term for when you've got, animals preserved together. So we'll see. This is spread out over kind of a wide area. And who knows, it might even extend into here. We shall see later on. But again, we're just in our beginning stages. This is only day 6 of our fieldwork out here. So there's a lot of work to be done and a lot to be learned. And Surf Wyoming says we do have a lot of cool dino bones. Absolutely. Wyoming is one of the best places in the world to look for dinosaurs. You should be proud, Surf Wyoming. There's not a lot of folks who live in Wyoming. It's the smallest state by population in the U.S. This is a state that is so small in terms of population that there's only 2 escalators or 2 escalator sets in the entire state. They're both in the town of Casper. So imagine that. Imagine living in a state, hundreds of miles wide, hundreds of miles north to south, and then east to west as well, and you've only got 2 escalator banks in the entire state. That's pretty wild. Yeah. And Painhane says, do sites have to be secured at night? Do people loot dinosaur digs? People do, unfortunately. We're really hoping that doesn't happen here. If people did try to come and take some of these bones, they would definitely destroy them. It takes really, really careful work and, a good deal of patience and expertise to be able to get these things out of the ground safely. And if somebody's coming through here in the middle of the night trying to loot this, they're just going to destroy it. And that does happen all the time, especially in places like Utah. I've heard plenty of horror stories from paleontologists who work there. So cross your fingers, everything's okay here. But yeah. And let's see. And Dr. Tara, we really don't know how big this animal is yet. Again, we're just at the very beginning stages. So we'll have more information as we continue. Yeah. We need a stream gif of Homer protecting the sugar. I wish we had Homer here with a baseball bat protecting our ankylosaur at night. Or maybe we don't, considering what happened to that pile of sugar in that episode. But yeah. And there you go, Zaxxonov, yes. It is, by the way, super illegal to vandalize a site like this. We are working on federal land under a Bureau of Land Management permit. So we have special permission to dig here. It took a lot to be able to get that permit. It would be a federal crime to vandalize a site like this. So we're really hoping nobody does. Yeah. And Mobster says, how do you know where the right spot is to dig? Good question. We like to dig where the bones are. In that case, it's here. You like that, Spencer? But no, this is one of the most common questions that I get. Maybe we can have Spencer answer it. Actually, let's put you up.
Yeah.
How do we find a site like this, Spencer?
Well, you go prospecting for fossils.
There you go. How does that work? What kind of fancy ground-penetrating radar do we use?
So you get like this thing with like a shotgun in it, a shotgun shell in it. You go boom, and it goes through all the rock, and then the image bounces back.
Yeah, bounces back. A few more years development.
You don't even have to dig anymore, man.
No, this is the way we actually. Let's describe how prospecting actually works.
You just see bone. You look for bone fragments basically coming out of a hill, and that's your greatest indicator of whether or not a site might exist. But it's not always the case. Like sometimes you'll have bone fragments, and
You dig
do
in,
this
there's
whole
just nothing. Yeah.
grid system, and you'll still find nothing. So
Yeah.
it really is
Yeah.
all up to luck.
Yeah, luck and skill and being
And
able to
skill.
identify things. Yeah, covering a lot of ground, lots of stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate you letting me put you on the spot again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So prospecting is how we actually find the bones in the field. But first, you got to be looking in the right place. So you only find dinosaur fossils in sedimentary rocks, and only sedimentary rocks of the right age. If you're looking in rocks than 235 million years old, zero shot you're going to find any. Looking for non-bird dinosaur fossils in rocks younger than 66 million years, you're not going to find any because they've gone extinct. So what we do is we look at a geological map. That's kind of a good place to start. So geological maps, it's like a regular map, except it's almost a paint by numbers. And the different colors there represent different ages of rock. So usually green for Cretaceous, blue for Jurassic, purple for Triassic, etc. If you're looking for a particular kind of dinosaur, there's a particular age of rocks that you need to look for. So you look at your geological maps, you find out where those rocks are. You can look at satellite images to figure out where you've got territory like this with exposed rock on the surface. And then you get permission to go prospecting, figure out if it's federal land, state land, private land. You make sure that you have permission to be there, get your permits in order, and then you go out and prospect like Spencer was saying. So you walk along, you look at the ground, you look for anything unusual, bits of bone that might be sticking out of the side of a hill, or like here, I think it was Ethan's brother who actually discovered this site. So he was just walking through here, eagle-eyed, looking at the ground, was able to spot some bones, and luckily they went into the hill. There was more there under the surface, and this becomes what we call a site. We've got a bunch of bones here. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah. Landon History Buff, hello to you. Prince Nanerda, howdy, howdy. And yeah, and there you go, Feral Terminator. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Mobster420Z says, the way you explain complex things so clearly is seriously impressive. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Hey, really, I appreciate it. This is what I do for a living, believe it or not. Like, trying to explain these things. Twitch is how I make my living as a paleontologist. The first paleontologist who's ever been able to do that, so I'm immensely lucky. I feel very fortunate, and it's a privilege to be able to bring you out here and show you how this stuff works. Yeah. But yeah. So Slugbiker says, so you have to get all the permits and you might not even find anything. It's got to be frustrating if you set up all your stuff and then find nothing. How often does that happen? We should actually ask Ethan about that real quick, because this is his big project, and he was rolling the dice on this. This is about 5 years ago now at this point that he got started out here in the Almond Formation. And I could tell the story, but we'll get it straight from the source here. Let me drink some water first. There we go. Yeah. Where did I study? Did a lot of my studying at Montana State University in Bozeman, Montana. It's kind of where I learned to be a dinosaur paleontologist. But I'm freelance nowadays. Yeah. LiveCam Travel says, in what area can you find the most T-Rex skeletons? I think the T-Rex capital of the world is probably still Garfield County, Montana, where the first T-Rex was discovered by Barnum Brown. Barnum Brown right here. Back in, I think it was 1902, he found the first T-Rex out near Jordan, Montana. Barnum Brown also worked here in this part of Wyoming in 1938, I think. Found a whole bunch of dinosaurs. And he did almost die out here. Yeah. See? Josh knows. Yeah. One of these days I'll bring the Barnum Brown biography out here and we'll read that. But yeah, good stuff. North of Saskatchewan, actually, and yeah. So Tyrannosaurus is from Montana, North and South Dakota, Wyoming. There might be some specimens from Utah. Yeah. And Pipcat says just happens to carry his picture on. Oh yeah, here's my picture of Barnum Brown. I always carry it with me, along with all these other visual aids that'll be useful for streams out here. So yeah, anyway, this is our guy here that we're digging up. An ANKYLOSAUR, an armored dinosaur. There's a lovely skeletal by Scott Hartman of skeletaldrawing.com. Scott Hartman is he's a paleontologist, PhD, and he also produces these wonderful skeletal diagrams showing how all the bones are arranged and kind of a silhouette of what the animal might have looked like in life. So this is our general kind of critter. Again, like Ethan was saying, we don't know whether this is one of these guys with no tail club, a nodosaur, no tail club, or an ankylosaurid who do have tail clubs. We don't know yet. We're still, we're digging. Yeah. Anyhow, can we bother you for a second, Ethan?
Sure.
Can you tell the story of how you started this whole project out here in Wyoming in the first place? Because people are curious.
Yeah, I wanted to find...
Oh, hang on. Sorry, just a second. We're getting a big raid. Sorry, Ethan.
Raid!
Yeah. From Alhazred. Thank you, Alhazred, for raiding. I'll be right back, okay?
No worries.
Alhazred. Welcome out here to southern Wyoming. We're digging up a new species of armored dinosaur right now. And I'm glad you're here. Let me know if you got any questions. Doing some... Oh, and Patrick Richards. Well, thank you for coming in too. We've got a DJ here in the chat. Excellent. Anywho. Oh, and Jim is here. Excellent. Everybody, Paleo Jim there in the chat. That is the state paleontologist of Utah, Jim Kirkland, discoverer of Utah Raptor. He's here in the chat right now too. Hello, Jim. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having an excellent Thursday. We're digging up an ankylosaur, and we're finding bones all over the place, including, we've got a femur over here. Very nice. Probably a femur, some kind of limb bone. Doesn't quite look spun around enough to be a tibia. Tibias are often kind of a twisted sort of look. But, yeah, and we've got potential more bone right there.
Looks like the kind of stuff that you find around the bone.
Yeah. Anyway, this is almost certainly a new species, so we're very, very excited. Yeah. And Ara Moon Jelly says, Southern Wyoming, that's near my neck of the woods in Utah. Yeah, a bunch of our crew members are from the Salt in Utah. Including lead Ethan right here. We'll go check in with him in a minute. But, yeah. Dreaded Oreo. Welcome, Dreaded Oreo, to Paleontologizing. Dinosaurs are what I do. And it is cool stuff. Tetraray says this is so cool. I agree. I'm glad you think so too. How often on Twitch can you tune in to a new dinosaur being dug up, brand new species? I guess fairly often if you watch this channel. But yeah. This is the best way that I know of for doing science outreach. Trying to show you how this stuff actually works, rather than just telling you. So, Patrick Richards says, this is so heckin' cool. Thank you. Appreciate the enthusiasm, and I appreciate the raid. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Yeah. Good stuff. And Jim says, cooling down after hunting Permian vertebrates outside of Seymour, Texas. The namesake of Seymoria. Seymoria, an amphibian or a reptilomorph? I think it might be a reptilomorph. Anyway, very cool, Jim. I'm glad you're cooling down. Hope you're having a great time down there in Texas. Jim, I think, was presenting at Permian Fest. Was that it? Awesome. I hope you're doing well, Jim. It's great to have you here. Let's go check in with Ethan and hear the story about how he started this whole project in the first place, because it's a pretty cool one. This is unique. Ethan just finished his undergrad, and he has done more during that time than many paleontologists do in their entire lives. So, yeah, let's hear from him how this whole thing started in the first place. Is this a good time, Ethan?
Sure.
All right. So tell us, how'd you begin this whole crazy quest in Wyoming, and what inspired you to do it?
Well, I wanted to find cool new dinosaurs and I didn't want to wait until I was, 30 or something,
Yeah.
graduate degree, and I went through all this training.
Or you have tenure or whatever. Like some
Yeah.
people wait a long time to do that.
And a lot of people who study paleo and go through all the whole thing never even get to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of jump the line and just get right into it. So I did some research and learned about some fossil-bearing forms that seemed like they had really good potential, but that were really understudied.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned about this really obscure unit, and then kind of just raised a little bit of money, made some friends, did some paperwork, and brought some family and friends out in 2021, and we found a bunch of stuff. And since then, we found tons of stuff.
Was it kind of a make or break situation there at the beginning?
I'm sure it felt like it, but it definitely wasn't.
We were talking about this a little bit last night.
But
yeah.
I think if I wasn't lucky enough to have almost instantaneous success that we did, I'm sure I'd be a little more doubting of my, maybe I shouldn't be doing this before I go to grad school kind of thing, But yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that you've been able to establish a whole field program and really put this before you're even done with your undergrad. This is kind of unheard of.
Well, it's because we got hordes of awesome team members who are happy to just eat hot dogs and move rocks.
Yeah. 5 shaboing.
A lot of hot dogs were eaten last night. Yeah. And some veggie burgers too, but not nearly as many. And she's like, no. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah.
Let's get back to work. Yeah. Somebody in chat, Trek Nerd, says because 30 is so old.
That's
in people's eyes.
I know. I was 21 at the time, and 30 seems old when you're 21. Why would I want to wait 9 years to find a new dinosaur?
Right. Yeah. And then, good stuff. Slug Biker says thanks for answering. Yeah. Very cool. Sassasaf says love to see this over here in New Zealand. We don't have much dinosaur activity. I guess that's true. I want to say there's one one dinosaur specimen from New Zealand, one non-avian dinosaur specimen, but you do have a lot of fossil penguins, which are dinosaurs. A friend of mine did his PhD in New Zealand at the University of Otago. He studies marine animals from the Cenozoic, whales, pinnipeds, penguins, stuff like that. Yeah, so you do have a good number of good fossils in New Zealand, but you're right, not a lot of dinosaurs. Yeah. And LiveCam Travel says, how can you know these bones are from a totally new dinosaur species? That's a great question. So we know so far that these are from an ANKYLOSAUR, one of these armored dinosaurs, maybe something like this. And yet, how do we know that it's a new kind? We're kind of making a presumption about that to a certain extent. But here's the thing. These rocks from this particular place in the world, from this particular time, about 73 million years ago, we don't have any dinosaurs named from this time and place. And since dinosaurs they're always changing, they don't stay the same for very long. You've got species that evolve, they evolve into these, some species go extinct, species split, all of that stuff. They're just constantly in flux all the time. The age of dinosaurs is just this constantly changing cast of characters, all throughout the Mesozoic era. And here, we don't have any dinosaurs named. We know that there's duck-billed dinosaurs, we know that there's horned dinosaurs, we know that there's armored dinosaurs, like here. None of them have been named yet. The odds are extremely high. There's only a few other places in the world where there's even rocks of similar age, and chances are this is not going to be that same kind of dinosaur, the same kind of ANKYLOSAUR that you have in places like that. So, yeah. very, very high likelihood. Just about any time you find a new geological formation and you find dinosaurs in it, they're gonna be new. That's kind of the default, if that makes sense. So that's why we think that's the case here. I hope all of that makes sense. Yeah. And Jim says, what are the osteoderms like? Ooh, I don't know if we have any to show you right now, Jim, but we can bug Ethan again and ask him. Yeah, let's go ask. Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
We got Jim in the chat. He would like an appraisal of the osteoderms here.
You know,
what can you share?
Most of them are covered, but we've got one over here to show you.
So Jim works on ankylosaurs. He's one of the world authorities on armored dinosaurs like this.
This one's really hard to interpret on camera, I'm sure, because it's totally embedded in rock, and the rock has the same color as the bone.
Yeah, we don't know yet, Jim, if it's an ankylosaurid or a nodosaurid.
But this is an osteoderm embedded in the rock. Here's like a midline ridge on it. It's a little broken back here. Here's maybe posterior view. Here is a basal direction, and here's apical or ventral dorsal. So it's like this big, and it's got a ridge and it's symmetrical. And we found maybe half a dozen so far this year. None of them else look quite like this, but
Sharks are.
yeah, I'm not sure what we have, but it seems neat.
Yeah, dig up more
Here's
of
a
it.
big centrum. This was one of the first things we found this year, so unfortunately it kind of blew up because we didn't really know where we were supposed to be working at, but this is a very large ankycentrum.
Nice. That's the central kind of circular part of the vertebra, the backbones.
And that's going in right here.
Nice.
And over here we've got, I think, another centrum that Jackson's found. I'm not sure if you showed that yet.
I did give them a walk around.
On the camera?
Yeah.
Nice. There's a little centrum in there, I think.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So I don't know what we got, but we got a lot of it, it seems like.
Cool. Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. So I don't know how helpful that is, Jim, but that's what we got so far. Again, we're just very early stages here. We don't know whether it's an ankylosaurid or a nodosaurid. Individuals here, because we've got different limb bones that seem to be different sizes. We might have multiple femora of different sizes, so that would indicate different individuals, presumably. Hardly anybody's got two femurs of the same size, of different sizes, rather. Oh, and Jim says seems to be nodosaurid.
Oh yeah?
Interesting.
The one I showed him earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Very cool.
I love nodosaurids. Jim knows a thing or two about nodosaurids.
Bit of an understatement, yeah. How many nodosaurids is Jim named?
500, I think.
It's a few. It's a few. Certainly more than I've named. 0. Yeah. I did get to help dig up a new nodosaur in the Judith River Formation back in 2017. That was a lot of fun, just south of the Canadian border, Rudyard, Montana. But yeah, this guy is going to be maybe about 6 million years younger than that guy. I don't know whether or not they're the same lineage. We're not totally sure it's a nodosaur yet, but Jim, that's exciting that it looks nodosaur to you. Very cool. Trochanter distal or proximal? Oh, over here. Hang on. That's a good question. If this is a femur right here, our fourth trochanter, I don't know how visible it is, honestly. It might still be obscured by rock at the moment. But, is that a way to tell if it's nodosaurid or ankylosaurid, Jim? Which one has a distal fourth trochanter? That should help us. And Jim says, certainly most likely a panoplosaurine. Well, very cool. Nice, very nice. Denversaurus ancestor? Quite possibly. Yeah, we've got, again, nodosaurids. Here's Scott Hartman's diagram of a nodosaur skeleton. Yeah. So yeah, pretty exciting that we might have the same kind of critter here. a member of this family. This is a nodosaurid, because it's got no tail club. Nodosaurid. That's how I can remember, chat.
So
you can have that one for free.
Almost certainly bone immediately under. This is just a nodule.
Yeah.
A sandstone.
Very cool. Very cool. Here, we got some other questions. Let me take a look.
So,
yeah.
So think about it. A super rich pocket down there, a super rich pocket up here.
And I've never found any Eurypterid fossils, Prince Nenarda. No. I've never actually worked in like Paleozoic rocks. Those guys went extinct before the dinosaurs evolved.
Who found this one?
Yeah. And from live cam travel, how long will it take to put the whole dinosaur out there on the site? How long will this take to excavate? It depends how much of it is here. So if we've got an entire skeleton, or maybe multiple skeletons, which is certainly possible, then it could take a while to dig up. Again, we're trying to work pretty quickly here because we are so close to some human settlements here, and there is risk of vandalism or looting or fossil poaching at this site. So again, we're trying to work pretty quickly. All that stuff is super illegal, by the way. We're federal land. We're a Bureau of Land Management permit. If anybody comes here and tries to mess with these fossils, federal crime. I want to make that very clear. But there's always a chance it can happen. And Edmontonia is a Panoplosaurian. Nice, Jim. That's what I thought. Yeah. Anywho. And hey, hi, Jules says, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Most of the verbiage is lost on me. Well, yeah, I mean, we've got people of varying levels of knowledge here in the chat. And frankly, here in the quarry, too. This is, I don't know. My whole purpose here is to show you what it's like to dig up a dinosaur and to help kind of walk you through the process a little bit. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm here to educate and inspire. So if there's anything that I can do to help accomplish that, let me know. Doing an amazing job. Thank you, Tetra. I appreciate that. Yeah. Dr. Terrace says, did nodosaurs tackle bash each other? The whole super armor resilience of Borealis pelta? Potentially, yeah. Yeah. We're still figuring out some of the behavior of these animals. Obviously, we're talking about creatures that died out 66 million years ago at the latest. So yeah, it's difficult to know exactly how they were behaving during life, but that is one idea for what ankylosaur or what nodosaurids were doing. Yeah. And Fear de Beard says, are there fossils in all the states? All U.S. states? Let me think. Yes. Yeah. Not every state has an official state fossil. State fossils are actually kind of a goofy concept, but yeah, but there, I think even Hawaii has got fossils. I believe there are fossil fishes from Hawaii, although they are very rare. Yeah. And ankylosaurids are more distal. Thank you, Gompstar. That's good to know. Excellent. Yeah. And Diagonal says Hawaii has fossils? Yeah, look it up. I'm pretty sure there are Cenozoic fish fossils from Hawaii, but they're very rare. Yeah. And let's to the surface of the ground if they are millions of years old, because there's been uplift here. So what we're looking at here, this landscape that we have here, these rocks are about 73 million years old, like I was saying. We're hoping to actually get more precise dates later this year. But this didn't used to be the kind of terrain that we had here. This used to be sea level. Nowadays, we're about 6,000 or 7,000 feet above sea level here. That's due to a tremendous amount of uplift over millions of years. So the same forces that brought up the Rocky Mountains have also pushed up this landscape here. And so there's a tremendous amount of uplift and also erosion, too. So these hills that are here that we're standing on, not only did these used to be flat, all of this sediment being dumped onto them, burying all of these critters here, they were fossilized, and then over tens of millions of years, this part of North America was pushed up toward the sky, this massive uplift event that took a long as that uplift is happening, the rocks are eroding. As, for instance, mountains come up, there's wind and rain and snow and freeze thaw and these other forces that kind of break them down. These erosional forces will cause sediment to break off, and then it goes down in mountain streams, and then it gets deposited in valleys. It's the same kind of forces that have exposed these rocks here. So these used to be buried under hundreds of feet of sediment, and we're really lucky that right here, right now, we've got a dinosaur that we've caught at just the right, but not while it's got hundreds of feet of rock on top of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, anywho, Nikki Hooray says, thank you for the shout out. Bringing over some science-loving beans. Oh, did you just raid in? Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome, raiders. 32 raiders from Nikki Hooray. Nikki Hooray, thank you again. Let's get another shout out. Welcome to Paleontologizing. If you've got to run, I understand, but I hope you had a wonderful stream. Thanks for raiding in. Your viewers are in good hands here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I work on dinosaurs. I study them. I literature, and I dig them up during the summer. So I was just over there before we're starting stream today, helping dig up this news about here. Ricardo P41 says, I love dinosaurs so much. Me too. You're in the right place. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, Nikki, right? Thank you for listening in. I appreciate you. Thank you for the raid. Good stuff. Excellent. Game Over V1, Leo Winded, Krypton246, Benny Biscuit. How are you all doing? It's great to have you here. Yeah. Good stuff. Hey Hi Jules says, how many hours have you put in at this site? Me personally, 5. This is my first time at this site today. Yeah, and I would be digging, but I'm trying to show everybody around and do the streaming thing right now. So yeah, and we've got a number of people here. We called in reinforcements from the Ceratopsian site, like AJ over there, and Colin and Quinn and Luke, and too. So yeah, they've put in, well, yeah, actually they've all put in more hours than I have at this point because I've been streaming for like an hour. But we had some other folks here earlier, like Derek and Anna, who are here. Is this your site you've been working the whole time so far?
I've been bouncing around.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So they've put in a good number of hours. We don't know how much time we're going to spend here because we don't know how many bones there are. We don't know how long they'll take to excavate. But we'll figure it out. We've got until the end of June here to try and finish out all of these sites this summer. So we'll see if we can do it. But this one is certain. You probably heard that train horn earlier. We are kind of close to civilization here. A little bit too close for comfort. So, there's always a risk that we'll have people come in at night and vandalize things or loot or try and poach the fossils or whatever. So this is a priority for getting this dinosaur out of the ground. Also, it's an ANKYLOSAUR, which is really cool, and we're very excited about it. And for all you raiders who just came in, here's a rough approximation dinosaur might have looked like. There's a skeletal diagram by Scott Hartman. This is another member of this group. If our suspicions are correct, and if Jim Kirkland's initial analysis is spot on, then this will be a nodosaurid, which is that same kind of dinosaur, member of that same family. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. And Jim says, dig up that beast. Ankies are the very best dinosaurs? You bet, Jim. Yeah. We're proud to do it. Thank you for your enthusiasm, Jim, as always. Good stuff. Yeah. And Astoria says, how often does looting happen? It depends where you are. If you're closer to town in a less remote area, it might be more likely. So that's one of the things we're nervous about out here. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I've heard plenty of stories of looting and vandalism in Utah. because I know some folks like Jim or like Rebecca Hunt Foster or other folks who. No, you're good. So I'm in your way. Nice work. I don't know. Lots of horror stories. Lots of unfortunate and vandalism in Utah. But it can happen just about anywhere. So yeah. And Jim says, nodosaurids tend to be overlumped? Well, even more likely that our critter is new then. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. Good stuff. Let me see other questions. Hey, hi, Jules says, how do you find and know what areas to excavate? So this particular I think by Ethan's brother. Maybe we can go have him tell us the story in a minute. He's working on that femur over there with Josh. Femur, we're not totally sure what any of these bones are yet, but we're working on it. Let me go hydrate, and we'll see if we can get the story of how Ethan's brother found this. Yeah. Oh, and Wildebeest said, did you get to study under Jack Horner? I did, kind of. So Jack Horner ran the paleo program at Montana State when I was there. And yeah, my kind of mentor at the time, my crew chief, was Denver Fowler, who was Jack Horner's final PhD student there at Montana State. So yeah, I kind of come out of that whole Museum of the Rockies milieu. Yeah, some controversial topics like anagenesis and ontogeny, like those are things I love to talk about. If you're clued into current controversies in dinosaur paleontology, then you know about some of that stuff. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, and Nikki Hooray says, okay, before I go, have you had any personal experience with uncovering not only dinosaur bones, but also prehistoric hominin remains? No, I've never worked on hominins or hominids. Nearly all of my work has been in the Mesozoic and on dinosaurs mostly, here in the United States. The U.S. not really known for its hominin fossils, for better or for worse. Yeah, I'm an anthro student with a love for dinosaurs as well, so yeah, that's outside of my wheelhouse. My realm of expertise, as it may be, is dinosaurs. That's what I've always worked on. So, yeah. Nothing against hominins, you know. Some of my best friends are hominins. It's an okay group, I guess. I'm a hominin myself, you know. But yeah. And Payne Haynes says, curious if the focus is on pre-dinosaur era, are they considered something other than paleontology? Or does it include all prehistoric? So paleontology is the study of fossils in general. Everything from fossil bacteria to fossil baleen whales. From fossil frogs to fossil ferns. Yeah, dinosaurs are just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, the vast majority of paleontologists do not work on dinosaurs. So I want to dispel that stereotype right here and now. But I do work on dinosaurs, and yeah, and that's what we're doing here. Let me put these sunglasses down. It's been nice and cloudy here, which is pretty cool. We'll see if that continues. Now, what a cool bush! Wow, look at him. Or her, I don't know. Might be both. I don't think sagebrush or dioecious, so yeah. But yeah. And let's see. Live Cam Travel says, is this skeleton going to be shown in a museum in the near future? Not the near future, but maybe 5, 10, 15 years from now. We might have this thing on display. Who knows? Again, we don't know how complete it is. It could be that the bones we're finding today are the only bones at the site. That's very unlikely, however. But well, actually, we'll ask E which museum these are headed to in particular. Do we have that information, Ethan?
These are going to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, nice. Any Ohioans in the chat? Let me know. Yeah. Can I bug you for a second?
Sure. Talking to me.
Tell us the story of how your brother found this site, right?
Yeah, so Luke, I don't know where he is.
There's Luke with the green bandana,
Luke found the first dinosaur bone in this formation since 1937.
Oh, man.
He found it about 200 yards that way.
Okay.
And on our way back to the car, which we had parked that way, my brother Josh looked, he said, "What's that?" "That's bone." And then like 6 inches from the side of the road, he found a pile of fragments. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what it is. We'll worry about that later." And then my dad actually came into camp the next day with all those fragments in a bag. And I was like, "Oh, why did you bag those up?" Like, ourselves. But it worked out great because I took it back to the museum and I thought it was just a bunch of random bones. One complete ANKYLOSAUR osteoderm, and then there were parts of 2 or 3 other long flat ones right next to it. So then I was like, oh, so that site is an ANKYLOSAUR. And it wasn't until a few days ago that we came back to the site for the first time since 2021, and there's ANKYLOSAUR bones everywhere. So it's pretty sweet.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I should let you know, Jim is saying, based on what he's seen, it's probably a Panopliosaurian.
Oh, cool.
And he says one of the ways to tell is on the femur if the, what was it, the fourth trochanter is proximal rather than distal.
Okay.
It's probably a nodosaur.
Well, I don't see any fourth trochanters. Do you guys?
I don't either.
But we'll keep that in mind, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's visible in this sad boy.
I don't think it is yet,
but I'll keep an eye on my
we might have to bring it back to the lab and clean it before we actually see that. Field prepping these things, removing all the rock from the surface is often not a good idea, but you know, we'll play it by ear.
Chevron or something?
Chevron?
So there's bone coming.
Oh, it's so narrow, yeah.
There's bone coming out of this, and that's bone there. That's bone under there. Basically, like where we see the orange is like, even though that isn't bone surface, that is like the shape of the bone.
Okay.
And then coming out of it is this
here,
weird prong, which I'm guessing is from the bottom of a.
That could definitely be a caudal chevron. It doesn't quite look like a cervical rib. It looks more like a. I think it does look more like a caudal chevron. So again, for everybody at home, that's the dangly down bones on the tail there are caudal chevrons.
I mean, it is the right shape, isn't it? I mean,
it is, yeah.
It expands. Yeah, it expands at the end, and it's skinny, and so that, I mean, we have potentially some articulated caudals in here because we've got bone going like this.
Yeah.
So we actually might find a series of these little things under there potentially. But.
Fantastic.
And hey, you know what caudals mean?
That means we've got
a tail.
A tail, yeah. Which would be very cool. Yeah, and that's again a way to tell whether or not this is an ankylosaurid or a nodosaurid. If we have the distal part of the tail, we'll either have a club or no club. So,
I'll leave your tools.
Yeah.
Club.
I think you should keep exposing more.
Love a good club.
Quinn loves going to the club. Ankylosaur club. Just destroying the dance floor. Good stuff. Yeah. So again, this is a good example of when we're in the field, it pays to have some expertise when you're digging something up. If you can identify that as a caudal chevron and you go, okay, we've got maybe several caudal vertebrae in series, that helps you predict what it's going to look like. So it's like, well, we got to be really careful in this area right here because if this is what we think it should continue in this direction. So it's almost like a microcosm of how science works. We're making a prediction and we test it. If this is how the way we think it is, that's our hypothesis, then this should be true and that should be true. So you follow along, you do an experiment, you dig in, and it either is or it isn't. You know, that's science. Very cool. And Executive Storm, thank you for the 58 months of support. I really appreciate that. Thank you for helping keep me here on the air. Good stuff. And diagonal is correct. Yes, caudal is Latin for of the tail. So this is kind of the way that we talk about vertebrae, the backbone of a vertebrate animal. You have the cervical vertebrae. You can't really see them here because they're hiding under these armor scutes, these osteoderms. But cervical vertebrae in the neck. Cervical means neck. Dorsal is the back. Again, you can't really see the dorsal vertebrae. You've got all these pesky armor plates covering it up. That's by design. These guys evolved that for a reason. And then you've got the caudal vertebrae, the tail vertebrae. Oh, and of course the sacral vertebrae in the sacrum, in the hips. So, cervical, dorsal, sacral, caudal. That's a little crash course in vertebral osteology for you. Good stuff. Mythic Mexican says the dog is in heaven with all the bones everywhere. She's having a good time. She really is. Yeah. Her favorite thing though is the shovel. Whenever we're moving overburden, shoveling dirt. What does she do?
She just hops for it. You know what I mean?
She like jumps after it and tries to bite it almost.
Should we get that on the street?
Maybe later. I don't know if we want to encourage that kind of behavior here. There's a reason why we haven't been using the shovels very much today. That's because Edie over there, short for Edith Bunker, I think. She loves chasing those shovelfuls of dirt. Yeah. Paleo Entertainment, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I say I really like the analogy of paleontologists as crime scene detectives. Makes it all the more cool. I guess so, yeah. I'd prefer to see it the other way, actually, you know? You watch like a crime scene drama, CSI or something, be like, oh, what's our minimum number of individuals? What species is this? Yeah. Mooncloud says, I would love to volunteer, but my rheumatoid arthritis. There's no way? I get that. I'm sorry, but I'm glad I can still share. A lot of people in chat right now who don't really have the opportunity to volunteer either for financial and yeah, I hope that it's still fun to kind of live vicariously through the stream. You know, I like trying to make these things accessible to anybody who's interested. So I'm glad you're here. And let me know if you've got any questions. Yeah.
Testing the limits there.
Yeah, we are. It's like the worst trips on the. Okay. All right, Doug.
Oh, and we had a flip right there, and I missed it. Nice.
Find your tool, and you're gonna try to whittle this down slowly until you until you're a few inches away from encountering bone.
Trim it. Got it.
Awesome.
We're gonna cap it.
Yeah. Nice work, Doug.
Doug Fresh.
Yeah.
Doug Smash. Fresh.
So yeah, this is a jacket that is now upside down. So this is one that I was working on earlier, and Ethan and I jacketed that, and it's just been flipped. And so in order to get this fully ensconced, cocooned, Doug is going to start carving away at some of the underlying rock there with a trusty oyster knife.
Victorinox, I contend, makes the best oyster knives.
Sounds favorite.
Victorinox.
Yep.
Interesting.
The same
I'm
people-
partial to Oxo myself, but these are...
Victorinox, the same people who make Swiss Army knives.
Really? Very nice. Thanks for the tip, Doug. Yeah. So he's going to start carving away at that. With a jacket this small, it's not the most essential thing in the world, but it weight and the easier it is to carry. The less space it'll take up in storage before it gets prepped in the lab. And sometimes that can help us make a better, more sturdy jacket too when it gets carved away. Oh yeah. Gravity says now you guys are advertising knives like candy. Well, they're oyster knives, you know, it's not gonna hurt anybody. Oh, good stuff. Alright. Got anything over here, Colin?
We got a little baby here.
Oh.
Confirmed by Doug and Ethan, the pros. We got this little
Oh yeah,
bump here. Not sure
Nice.
what it is, but
Did we see that earlier?
no, it's brand new.
This is new. That's right, James had one.
Dan's actually uncovered a bunch of other fragments.
Nice. Can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Making a lot of progress.
Here.
Surface
That's
area.
really exciting. Yeah. Holy cow! Look at that! Look at that pedestal there that Luke has done. That's like. Yeah, shoot. What is that one spot like River Canyon and Dinosaur National Monument? A famous spot. You know. It looks just like it.
Thank you.
It's fine work. It almost makes me a little nervous. Like you placed it up really well.
It's gonna be an easy flip.
Maybe too easy. Shoot. Nobody kick it by mistake. Yeah. Nice. Oh, so yeah, can we bug you for a second, Luke, as you start this? You can narrate like a cooking show.
Absolutely. So here we've got at least one nice osteoderm up here. There might be some other things in there, but you can kind of see a few pieces up top from when it was discovered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just basically putting some separator on this before I plaster it, just to make sure we don't get plaster and burlap all over these beautiful bones.
You got it at the paleontology store. It's called separator.
Yep.
Yes, it's
as you can see, we've got only the most sophisticated and expensive equipment down here, like paper towels
and a brush.
Or if you're from the UK, kitchen roll.
Hey.
To each their own, you know. Yeah.
So I'm just putting a little bit of water on this to help it stick, which is also very helpful in the very windy place that we are currently in.
Yeah, you can see the wind kind of kicking up just as you're saying that, actually. Very obligingly demonstrating.
Okay.
Here, I'll get out of Ethan's way here.
No, you're good, man. I'm just hanging out with Uncle Adam over here. You're the Hold on. Okay, there we go. Nice, bro. Keep that out.
Let me make sure that my battery level is. Get a
Speak
loss
real quick,
of,
Adam. There's a couple loose bone fragments up here. But,
I can't even see. It's too sunny.
Be my fault. Red. That's what I watch out for. Okay.
Yeah, we're about halfway. That's good. Nice.
That's going home with us. The one Luke's working on.
Okay, all right. It was me the whole time.
So yeah, in order to build a plaster jacket like jacket, got to apply that separator. That's exactly what Luke is doing, and that keeps the plaster from sticking to the rock. I've had to make jackets with that separator before. It is not fun.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of feels wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I have to do it.
So that's yeah, the step before you mix the plaster and burlap. Are we gonna do like a proper jacket for that, or some gypsona?
I think it's just gonna be a gypsona.
Okay.
Another
We're
big
gonna do it
one,
nice and quick.
kinda.
Yeah.
All right, Colin, I'm brushing on you. That's okay.
But
Yeah.
the one behind me is gonna be a nice jacket.
Oh yeah, that'll have to be burlap and plaster. It's so big.
You ain't gotta be so cruel, baby.
Yeah.
Can't believe you bowling my like that. You're trying to dig up some dinosaurs.
Yeah, and then over here, Quinn has got this is what we call a top jacket. So this is that upper layer of gypsona right here. So
I'm gonna trench around it.
trench around it. Nice.
Danny.
Huh.
I'm like
I don't know if that's bone.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I don't either, but has that like same color.
I've got a hand lens if you want to borrow it.
Would you?
Yeah. Yeah, let me
I
grab it for you.
should have mine.
Yeah. Let me get that real quick over here in my tool. For cousin Quinn over here. Doing my tool roll. All right.
Danny's more prepared than I am.
There you go, cousin Quinn.
Thank you, brother.
Your brothers or cousins?
Both. We're both. It's just that kind of family, you know?
Very close.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool.
Shoot your eye with that.
Lower. Too big. Tummy too big.
Hey.
Dude, I actually almost had you too. No, not really. For the first one, yeah.
First one was good.
First one was good. Second one, I don't know.
Man, Doug works fast. Shoot. Turbo
First
mode.
jacket trimming.
Yeah.
Doug's been around the block.
And then he trimmed that block too.
How many field seasons is this for you so far, Doug?
I don't know off the top of my head. Probably at least 10.
Nice.
I just know this is my 6th time in Wyoming.
Nice.
So Wyoming now holds the record of state I've done the most work in.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
Wyoming is so lucky.
Good stuff. Lots of good fossils here in Wyoming. And somebody's doing a Jeff Goldblum laugh in the chat.
No way. No way.
Yeah, right there. That's the message at the bottom.
Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum or the Fly Jeff Goldblum?
I don't know.
Let's hope Jurassic Park.
Prince and the Nerd, can you clarify?
Yeah. What kind of Jeff Goldblum we talking here?
The Death Wish Jeff Goldblum. Was it Death Wish 3, I think? Yeah.
What an astounding movie.
I think he plays one of the street toughs in that, who gets murdered by the gunman hero.
I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, that's the one that turned Charles Bronson's vigilante into Rambo.
Yeah, I think so. Is that the one where he's got like a 30 cal?
An old World War II 30 cal machine gun.
A belt fed one. It's a fun movie, but just like makes me feel gross watching it, you know? Yeah.
Paraphrase the cinema snob. It's like biscuits and gravy. It's not good for you, but sometimes you need it.
There you go.
It's good for the soul. And it's made with love.
Wait, was that the first Death Wish movie? Shoot, I thought it was the third one.
That was water.
No, maybe not. I think that was the first one, huh? Yeah.
An argument with the chat's a losing battle.
I usually defer to the wisdom of the crowd in that sense, but unless everybody's in on the same joke.
Don't gaslight chat. Don't do that.
Being gaslit by Twitch.
And the nerd, I have seen the remix for that laugh. Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the Dodson Jurassic Park remix? It's Wayne Knight's character saying the word Dotson over and over again. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Dodson, we got Dodson.
Yeah. Have you heard that, Colin?
No.
You'd like it.
Oh, would I?
Yeah.
Is it up my alley?
I would say it is. Yeah.
A little bit of.
Should I find it here?
Yeah.
I've got. Here.
Oh my goodness.
There it is. So, gonna get an ad at first. We'll turn the volume down for that.
Danny, swallow up that mix.
And then
Hey, Danny.
skip.
Hey, Peter.
You never heard this?
I've heard this a million times.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Spencer.
Spencer has. Yeah. What about you, Derek?
I've never heard this before. It's the first for me as well.
Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea, everybody.
I don't think we do. I think we need more.
Well, now you know. You can look it up yourself if you'd like.
Is there a 10-hour loop?
Just push the repeat button. Oh, that was a mosquito. Well. And not one trapped in amber.
I haven't seen it.
There we go. Well, she was trying to bite me, so I maintain that this is self-defense here. Here, go. Yeah. Oh, and is Matt Lamont here? Matt Lamont is at a different site right now, Jim. He's over at the Purple Puzzle site where we were yesterday, digging up a hadrosaur. And I hope Matt is having a grand old time. And Matt Lamont is the curator of paleontology at the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he's one of the reasons why we happen to have so many Pennsylvanians here in the quarry right now. Raise your hand if you're from Pennsylvania here.
Oh, actually,
Nice, quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rib cross.
Yeah. Moss Toxic says, so what dinosaurs am I looking at? Right now you're looking at me. I'm not a dinosaur. But here we're digging up an ankylosaur, an armored dinosaur. Would it look something like this? Yeah, in fact, I rolled the dice in picking images for this year in Wyoming, and I could have done an ankylosaurid or a nodosaurid. I chose a nodosaurid with no tail club, and that might be what we have here. Jim Kirkland, who happens to be one of the world authorities on ankylosaurs, was he was looking at some of the osteoderms that Ethan was showing him, and he says, looks like a nodosaur, maybe even a panoplosaurine nodosaur. So time will tell if that appraisal is correct. This is very preliminary. We only have a few bones to look at right now, but yeah, it's going well. I'm very excited. Brand new species, most likely. Yeah. Mooncloud says, did you make them supply the dig with Philly cheesesteak? No, there's mostly Pittsburghers here who, yeah. I don't know if they have Philly cheesesteak in Pittsburgh. That might be illegal in that part of the state. I don't actually know. Yeah, it's okay.
I feel a little better.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the signature dish is of Pittsburgh, but some stuff from some of the Pittsburgh guys at the other site the other day. There's a thing called city chicken, which is actually a kind of pork. Yeah?
Wait, what?
City chicken? You're not familiar with this? Were they pulling my leg?
What's it called?
City chicken? Which is like fried pork on a stick?
I've never heard of that. I have no idea what.
I may have been deceived. We'll have to find out. Yeah. Diatoms of Texas. Usually you're pulling my leg too. I don't know what to believe now. You know? Yeah.
My first time in Philly.
Yeah. And it has a Wikipedia page, really. Somebody link that in the chat. City chicken. Again, it sounds like it's a euphemism for a rock dove, for a feral pigeon or something. But, yeah. Ash Odinson says, if they do have Philly cheese without permission, Pittsburgh Steelers, if you will. Very. That was solid. Yeah.
We got funnies in chat.
City chicken. Wait, what? All pork city chicken. Cubes of meat cooked on a skewer.
I could go for a 10-pound meat log. Don't even cook it.
Interesting.
I could go for a mammoth cube right
Thank you there, Linnea, for posting that. Yeah. Diatoms X has told you so. Okay, Diatoms. This just means that you're more likely to be able to fool me in the future. By the way, if anybody in the chat is not yet following Diatom's Attack, you're missing out. Hopefully he gets back to streaming soon. I think it's been a while since I've seen him live. But he's also a paleontologist. He studies diatoms, which are smaller than dinosaurs and more photosynthetic. They produce more oxygen too. Diatoms are these photosynthetic microorganisms. They live in salt water and fresh water and produce, something like 1/3 of Earth's oxygen come from diatoms. Yeah. So it's like that. Who sings that song? Every breath you take, every move you make, every third breath you take. Thank a diatom for it. Yeah. Good stuff. Oh, the police. Thank you. Wait, where? No. Yeah. Sting / police. Thank you, XVR. Yeah. I joke about, like, oh, police, where? We're permitted to dig at this site. We're legit. Yeah. Big adult joke.
Okay. They're just like really thick.
And essentially more important than dinosaurs got it, Lel, says Alexander Morrison. I mean, I don't know if I'd say that, but diatoms are pretty important. Yeah. They're cool critters, and you can learn all about them over at Diatoms Attack. Yeah.
Nice, Adam. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna get some burlap.
Ooh, so here Doug is preparing to put a bottom layer on this jacket. Nice. Let's sit down and watch a master at work.
Dougie's a master.
And the gloves, Don DeBlue would be proud. Assistant state paleontologist for Utah. He also insists on using gloves while jacketing.
Well, I just have a very light reaction to plaster.
Oh, interesting.
So I use dish gloves instead of disposable gloves.
Yeah. That's what Don uses too. These are nicer than his, though.
They're stronger because they're meant to be used over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Just testing this out. Although a really sharp jacket will still rip them. As I found out in Terlingua last fall.
Oh.
Yeah. Good thing I had a spare.
Mm-hmm.
When we were making a...
What jacket was that on, Doug? The Mosasaur.
Dang, you had a
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This side needs a little bit of a lip.
That's right.
Okay.
You got enough, don't you?
I trust you, boss. The whole thing.
In just a few moments, this whole jacket will be enclosed by plaster soap. It'll be, once it dries, be ready to take back to camp. And these might be our first bones in the bone room, which will be exciting.
It does include you, Colin. I try and tell you.
Yeah, this is the best crew we've ever had out here.
Very nice. We're making really good progress here today. We're gonna have like 3 or 4 bones out of the ground, back in camp by this evening. It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is how we do it.
It's alright.
AJ's not sure. It's like, I've seen better. I don't know.
No,
Seen this movie Jurassic Park? They had a whole dinosaur.
They
in
had
the
a whole
ground there.
freaking dinosaur. I got a bone. What is this?
Why isn't it together?
I don't know where the rest of it went. I don't know.
Where's that computer that shows them in the
It's a
ground?
computer. We got the Newman guy. I don't know where he went.
That DNA and the shaving cream?
DNA, the shaving
You're
cream.
shaving with the DNA.
The dino DNA, I don't know. It's all beyond my pay grade. Not quite sure.
You're getting paid?
You're getting paid?
Rage and the Outdoors. Hello to you too. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Can we name the new species the Green River dinosaur? Probably no. We're gonna name it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they had some projects that didn't quite work out. Yeah.
It sounds so goofy and gross, but I want
Yeah. Can we name it City Chicken? I don't know about that either. Yeah. Ethan, what is the official name for this site?
Josh's Knoll.
Josh's Knoll. Gotcha.
It used to be a green croft. It used to be a beautiful Scottish moor before we showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just a waste. It's a nice
We've
knoll.
cursed it.
Nice grassy knoll.
Everybody loves a grassy knoll. Yeah.
Almost.
Almost everybody. Thank you, Ethan. Yeah.
Except that one guy.
Oh boy.
By the way, Ethan. I'll probably just call it Almond Pelta or something.
That's a good name. Yeah.
My only concern with that is there's.
Oh, Sorry, go ahead.
No. You.
Sorpel says, "Could you check on Peter? That's my brother." Oh, I'm sorry. We got bad news for you. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. He's over here. How you doing, Pete?
Hey, what's up? I'm great.
Yeah. Your brother wants to say hi.
That's cool. I wonder which one.
Your brother is Sorpel with a.
That's my brother Theodore. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I'm digging up. Josh right here found it. I'm digging up a ANKYLOSAUR femur.
Nice.
Yeah. Trenching around it, getting a good area so that we can get a jacket on it, and take it out, flip it over, take it out for safe transport.
Awesome.
Back to Cincy or wherever it's going. Yeah. So
this isn't your first time digging dinosaurs, is it?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
So how does this site compare to other sites that you've worked?
Well, depends on the site, but it's a lot more scattered than I'm used to. The sites I've worked before are all kind of jumbled and put together, and so we kind of gotta. We've had to do some work like puzzling, figuring out how to get things out. It's like pick up sticks.
Yeah.
Right. You get bones crossed over each other, and you have to figure out which ones. Sometimes you got to break them apart to take them out.
Yep.
Get them out safely. I grew up doing invertebrate stuff.
Oh, nice.
Back in Ohio. So
yeah.
Ordivision and that kind of thing. Looking for brachiopods and trilobites and stuff like that.
Moving up in the world.
Moving up in the world.
Now.
Yeah.
I think this is wood,
a lot bigger animals.
Yeah.
Cooler. I think. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Any special messages for everybody at home? I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry.
Putting me on the spot.
I like your otter hat.
Thanks.
That's really cool.
Yeah, a friend gave this to me.
Nice.
Special message for at home.
Yeah. I think you got a
give Kepler a good pet for me.
He's a fragment.
Kepler's our dog.
Yeah, try naked.
Could either be a dog or maybe an astronomer.
Maybe an astronomer. Yeah.
And then this might be
nice.
Thanks for coming along.
Appreciate
it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for telling your family about these streams too.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah. They're super excited because they don't get to see me in my natural habitat very often. So
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have helped facilitate that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good stuff. Yeah, Peter's great. It's fun talking with birds, talking with him about birds, talking with birds about them. Yeah, I need to drink some water, but yeah, good guy. Yeah, I'm glad to know him. Yeah, and he's a great worker out here. We're really lucky to have him. So thank you to family and friends of Peter for letting us borrow him for a while. You know, it's going well. We're taking good care of him. And let's see. And Dave Nevius, this is probably true. Yeah. Yeah.
There's like two random broken fragments of oxygen.
Here, let me get some more water. Next to this really cool guy. Thank you. He's been looking after my water for me. All right, would you mind taking a look at this, or watching after this for me? Thanks, man. All right.
And then just put this roughly where it was. It's like orange layers. Yeah, it's wild. This is bone.
Sorpel says I'm glad he's enjoying it. He definitely is. Yeah, this is it's been a ton of fun. And he's seeing a bunch of cool new birds out here too. Doesn't have back home, so it's been fun asking him about that. A lot of lifers. Dr. Hub says the Ordovician fossils I'm familiar with are the trilobite Flexicalamine and the brachiopods Platystrophia and Stratophamina. Nice, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Isolated says super cool bush guy must be the supervisor of the site. He is for right now. Yeah. Looking away. Yeah, let's solve that problem. Here. Now he's looking at the site.
I wish I sang. This was two pieces found like in the dirt, just far apart from each other.
You've got a beetle grub?
Yeah, it's a little grub. Come look at the bug. Come on, Daddy, look at the bug, Chad.
Ooh.
Look at that little guy.
Just go put him by some bushes or something.
I'm going to save him.
Let's eat him.
No. he's just a boy. He's just a boy.
We've been in the desert too long.
Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad news for Carney.
We're gonna find this somewhere in there, but or things have happened already. But okay. Check out this little osteoderm, Danny. It was it looks like a piece of sandstone, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Nope, it's an osteoderm.
Man. Okay, that's a cautionary tale right there.
It sure is. If you see sandstone, be warned.
Yeah. Thank you, Ethan.
There's sandstone.
This is a public service announcement. Sandstone, osteoderms may look like sandstone. So, yeah, be careful. Osteoderms are the bony armor plates in the skin of these guys. So that's what makes these things of ANKYLOSAUR so messy. All of those that you see there, those are osteoderms. The armor plates, the crazy defensive, crazily well armored, well defended dinosaurs, the ANKYLOSAURs. They're pretty neat. Pretty neat. Yeah. So yeah. Payne Haynes says the two types of people. Let's eat him. No, he's just a boy.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. The duality of man. Copy paste clown says, "What's the most underrated dinosaur?" I got that question. Well, we were just talking about this yesterday. You know, we can ask some people around here. That's a good question. Good, like icebreaker one. My standard answer for this, the most underrated dinosaur, the dinosaur that I wish more people knew about, is Falcarius. Falcarius is a therizinosaur from the Cedar Mountain Formation.
Really? You don't like pterodactyls?
It's yeah, it's almost like it's a basal therizinosaur, so it's almost like a meat-eating dinosaur that's in the process of becoming an herbivore. At least that's the interpretation. That might change in the future. But yeah, and there are so many specimens of this animal from this site called the Crystal Geyser Quarry in Utah. Literally hundreds, maybe thousands of individuals there, from really small individuals to full-grown adults. There's so much that we can learn about dinosaur growth and possibly behavior, dinosaur ontogeny, dinosaur biology in general from this critter. Really, really cool animal, Falcarius. It's a neat one. There's a great documentary about it from 2007, I think, called Utah's Dinosaur Graveyard. And some of the friends of this stream are in that. Papa Jim Kirkland, and Uncle Don, both in that. It's a fun watch. You should check it out. We've looked at it a few times on stream. Falcarius. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. And Wild Country says, "Why are there so many people digging?" That's good. That's a good question today. We've got a bunch of people that we pulled off the Ceratopsian site to work here today, partly to help give them some rest. Yeah, a bunch of beasts of overburden, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah, Josh here and Luke, and yeah, really most of the folks here. We're working at the Ceratopsian site yesterday and the past 5 days. So that's a tremendous amount of work, back-breaking labor. This is like a little vacation for them here today, you know. So we've got a crying baby in the quarry over here. What's going on?
One more time? Who said that? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, what the?
Man, the wind really kicked up.
I think I saw a stork fly by. That was really weird.
It was really weird, yeah, strange. Yeah. Yeah. And there is a bit of urgency at the site due to its location. Yes, Ash Odinson. This is pretty close to civilization here. Too close for comfort. So this is a priority for us. We really want to get this dinosaur out of the ground because odds are extremely high that this is a new kind of armored dinosaur, a new species. And so we want to get as much out of the ground as quickly as possible because this site is in danger of vandalism because it's so close to civilization. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. An historic on Thursday Birds Eye? Yes, indeed, XVR. Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So that was my answer for that question. What's the most underrated dinosaur? What's the dinosaur I wish the general public got more excited about? Falcarius. It's a cool animal. from a biological perspective, from an evolutionary perspective, a sample size perspective. There's so many individuals. It's cool. It's cool. Falcarius. Neat dinosaur. Yeah, thank you, Lenina, for providing the link. Excellent. Yeah. Let's ask around to some other folks.
Dude, it literally tastes like
Yeah. I'll put Spencer on the spot. Spencer, what's an underrated dinosaur in your one you wish more people got excited about?
I gotta say Torvosaurus instantly.
Torvosaurus?
Yeah, Torvosaurus.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah, other than T-Rex.
Yeah,
Torvosaurus.
Torvosaurus, giant megalosauroid from the Morrison Formation. Yeah, potentially the biggest carnivorous dinosaur in the late Jurassic North America. Pretty cool. That's a good answer. Yeah, I know Allosaurus gets a lot of attention. Torvosaurus known for far fewer specimens, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Nice. I should have known you would say that too. I didn't even think about it. But yeah. And what do you think, James? Underrated dinosaur. What's a dinosaur you wish more people got excited about?
Acrocanthosaurus.
Acrocanthosaurus. That's a good answer. Yeah.
I really like that one a lot.
Very nice. It is cool. It's like you could see it becoming popular in the same way that like Carnotaurus is, or even T-Rex.
Yeah. I video on YouTube where there's another Ethan paleontologist pod and like footprints of a Acrocanthosaurus right next to it, and so it looks like it was in a chase, and then the footprints disappear for a second, and then they reappear next to it, making them think that maybe it hopped on and then hopped off again.
That is an idea, yeah. It's been controversial, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying because Acrocanthosaurus is huge.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost... but from earlier in time, North America, from Oklahoma and I think Texas. Yeah, it's a cool critter. Good answer. Yeah thanks, James. What do you think, Edie? In your opinion?
Oh.
She says, "Oh, I'm sleepy." So I'm gonna say Mei Law found in a sleeping posture in the Yixian Formation of China. Oh. All right, sleep well, Edie. Yeah. Put you on the spot, AJ. What's an underrated dinosaur in your opinion?
Underrated
dinosaur? A dinosaur you wish more people got excited about?
Ooh, this is an amazing question.
Don't be a politician.
Hey, nobody stand over here. Screw with the shadows.
Okay.
I would honestly
Get that.
have to say, this is a hot take.
Yeah. Okay. Hot takes. We like them here.
But I honestly think
T-Rex.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex. No, I think Gallimimus is a really cool dino.
Yeah, really big ornithomimid. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I like the similarities between like modern day fauna and that is just it's kind of I don't know, shocking.
Like a big weird emu or something like that.
Yeah, and I like that.
Arms
it's like
and tail.
an ancient version of what we have now. But it is kind of goofy looking and
they're neat, and they're widespread too. Like just about, we should expect to find ornithomimids in this formation here.
I think we have.
Yeah, I want to say there was like a hand claw or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we found claws.
Yeah, so we know they were here. Really successful group. They're all over the place: North America, Asia, Europe. Oh, and Australia too. Tim Mimus is from Australia. The Tim mimic? Yeah, I think it was named by Tom and Victoria Vickers-Rich. Maybe after their son Tim, I forget. But maybe they thought it looked like him.
Maybe it did.
Maybe it did, yeah. Anyway, Ornithomimimus gallimimus, it's a good answer.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. Right. Colin, you're up. Underrated dinosaur.
You know, I've been thinking about this ever since you started answering the question. As soon as you looked at me, mind blank.
Yeah. I can come back to you. No, I got it. Yeah.
What's the one in Asia with like the reptilian wing?
Ichi?
Ichi?
Yeah.
I like Ichi.
Ichi.
I based
weird critter
on Ichi. Here.
Oh, you've got a tattoo of Ichi?
Well, it's not Ichi. It's a phoenix with a Ichi wing.
Gotcha. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
like the reptilian.
Yeah.
Little
Shoot, you've
different
got tats out the wazoo.
I do.
Were these here last year?
These were not. Well, this one was. This entire arm is done, but they're brand new. So
a Tyrannosaurus there, Carnotaurus,
the Triceratops up here, and a Brachiosaurus with its neck that goes back down the
very cool
back of the arm.
That's awesome. Really cool sleeve.
Yeah. Shout out James in Pittsburgh, the Bellevue area, 1867 tattoo. If you want some good cats.
1867 tattoo in Pittsburgh. All right,
that's the
thanks.
one.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, Colin.
Sure.
Yeah. Ichi, really weird dinosaur. It's like a feathered dinosaur that had wings, and yet it didn't have feathered wings. Membranous skin wings. We've talked about this critter a bunch of times before on stream, and it's bizarre. You know, people say that flight has only ever evolved 4 times on planet Earth. Respectively, insects, pterosaurs, birds, and bats. But Ichi and the other Scansoriopterid dinosaurs might represent an extra time in between birds and bats. Bats might be the 5th time that flight has evolved. Powered flight, active powered flight, flapping. But yeah. Anyway, and its Chinese scientific name means weird wing. Yes, Schottenjäger. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Ichi, and somebody should find its arch rival, its arch enemy, and call it Scratchy. Little Simpsons joke there for you. Yeah. Nicolas VV says, do you employ electronic equipment like sonars and radars? No. That sort of thing is, it doesn't really work at sites like this. Archaeologists have been able to use it to limited effect, but who knows? At a site like this, it might sort of work if the rock is soft enough and if the bone is hard enough. But we don't have the budget for that kind of thing. That's the thing, is that when cool newfangled technologies like that are developed, it'll be decades until they reach us paleontologists, you know, generally speaking. Yeah, there's not very many of us. We're usually not very well funded. Yeah. Good old-fashioned eyes, exactly, Mizart rules. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. Let me check my my battery pack here. Let's see. Make sure that we're doing okay battery-wise. I don't need to plug it in yet. My big battery pack is on the low side today, so I'm trying to use that sparingly. Yeah, anywho.
Doug, keep TPing that.
Looks like we got something new over there. I'll let Ethan take it in first, and then we'll go check it out. Patience. Yeah. And Tabit Roth, hey, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. I hope you had a great stream. Tapir raid. Well. Were you talking about tapirs? Holy moly. We love tapirs around here. I do, at least. Really cool perissodactyl mammals. Their closest relatives are horses and rhinoceros. Actually, their closest living relatives are rhinoceros. Horses are slightly more distant. But yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. And please don't misbehave in the chat. You know, this is... If you pull shenanigans, you know, we'll time you out for a day. That's just how it goes, okay? Yeah. Do not try the mods. They absolutely will nuke you from orbit. This is a paleontologizing thing. If you can't, you know, if that's too difficult for you, we can't have you around here. Sorry. It's as simple as that. We run a tight ship around here. So, yeah. And tapirs in captivity become extremely demanding of attention. They do, Dave Nevius. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Tabit Roth, are you familiar with the tapir? Can somebody in chat post that link? That tapir song in Japanese? I think you might really like it, Tabit Roth. Played that on World Tapir Day, which I think is April 27th. Good stuff. We celebrate World Tapir Day around here. Yeah. Paleo Jim says tapirs are good at punting along river bottoms. They are. They're very good at swimming and also just like punting off of the bottom, kind of like hippos do. They're really cool. Really, really neat animals, tapirs. They love water. Yeah. Good stuff. There's the tapir song. Thank you, Lenina. Quick on the draw there. Appreciate you, Lenina.
That one piece is like 90%.
And Vexy says, is it just one dinosaur you're excavating at this site? We're not sure yet. We're still figuring that out. So here's the thing. As we've got what looks like a femur over here. The femur is the upper leg bone, the thigh bone here. And we might have another femur down there that's currently being covered in paper towel before it gets jacketed. If these are both femurs, then they are wildly different sizes. And usually animals have two femurs of the same size. So we'd be looking at two different individuals, potentially. So it's pretty exciting. We might have a bone bed here. We might have multiple individuals of the same species of animal. Slight chance even multiple individuals of different species, but we're not entertaining that possibility yet. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Jim says autocorrect hates science. I'm sorry, Jim. The auto mod is giving you trouble. Yeah. Yeah. And what kind of species have you found? Says hot mac and cheese. So chances are this is a new species here. We have every reason to believe a new species of armored dinosaur. It looks like maybe from this family. These guys, the nodosaurid ankylosaurs. So an armored dinosaur with no tail club at the end. Kind of similar to like Panoplosaurus or Edmontonia or Denversaurus, if you're familiar with any of those guys. Potentially. Yeah, but ours is from a new time and a new place, and very likely a new species as a result. Dinosaurs don't stay the same over time. Millions and millions of years, they change. Species go extinct, new species evolve. You know, you've got lineages that change over time. So if you find a dinosaur in a rock unit that's not been well explored before, from a new time, very, very, very good chance it'll be a new species. And that's what we think we've got here. So an important site, a very important site. Yeah. But yeah. And, whoop. Moss Toxic says, what is one sentence you would say to someone who thinks they debunked dinosaurs from existing? Well, I'd say, come out and dig dinosaurs with us. We'll show you. No? It's like somebody saying they think the moon isn't real. It's like, you can see it. What are you talking about? You know? Anyway. Maybe I'd say, you know, I'm not sure you exist. How would you disprove that, you know? I'm more sure that dinosaurs exist than There's the thing, is that I'm not truly convinced that anybody thinks deep down in their heart of hearts that dinosaurs aren't real. I don't think those people actually exist. Like, I think online anybody can say whatever. People say lots of crazy stuff for attention. You know, if they actually thought that dinosaurs were somehow made up or something, that would mean tens of thousands of scientists around the world are lying. And that's a bonkers idea, you know? I don't know. What do you think we're digging up here, you know? Anyhow, yeah. I've got a big soapbox about this. We'll talk about it another time. It's getting me annoyed. This is a time to be excited. This is a time to be really happy about what we're doing here. So I'm trying to do that. Yeah. Yeah. And what new species would you be most excited to find, says Vexy. That's a good question. Shoot. What new species would I be most excited to find? That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. It would be wild to find a sauropod. It would be the first from the end of the Cretaceous. If we found a sauropod prior to Alamosaurus from the Maastrichtian, if we found here at the one here in the Campanian-Maastrichtian boundary, that would be pretty darn cool. Especially if it's a small one. It wouldn't be as difficult to dig up. Sauropods are the largest animals that have ever walked the earth. Some of them, you know, they were bigger than whales. Some of them were 130 feet long. They may have weighed upwards of 50, 60 tons. These were enormous animals. And, yeah, so if we found a juvenile, I'd be happy about that. It'd be easier to excavate. Yeah. Jim says new troodonts. That would be pretty cool, too. Yeah, if we found a troodont, and they're gonna be here in the Almond Formation. But yeah, no traces of them yet. Oh, I think we can say this too. Jim, you'd be super excited. Bennett, who I think used to work in the lab at the UGS, yesterday Bennett found a multi-tuberculate mammal tooth over at Turtle Hill. That is thrilling. It's the first mammal fossil from the Almond Formation. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. That could be a publication in and of itself, maybe. So we're pretty stoked about that. Yeah. Yeah. Tricerabeth says, are you taking proper precautions to protect you? Yeah, we use sunscreen here. We do all that stuff. I've got sunscreen on. Yeah. An unboxing dinosaur. That's cool to find here on Twitch, says Sharker. And yeah, welcome. Welcome to southern Wyoming. Welcome to... Oh boy. Doing some jacketing here. Been missing this. That is a huge strip of burlap. Holy cow. That's awesome.
Most dinosaurs. What's the shrinker?
Yeah. New kind of armored dinosaur here that we're digging up. Right before your eyes. Yeah.
Get that.
We know.
Why am I doing
that?
Nice work, fellas. That's one of the larger burlap strips I've ever seen applied to.
It's the largest one I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
It was so close to being exactly the right size of the block that we were just like, let's just roll it. And it worked.
Oh, I was gonna see.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Like they're redoing all of them? No, I think they're... Oh, I see.
Okay, I'm coming in with that second one. I think we can actually kind of just fold this.
Look at Edie here, just living her best life. How you doing, Edie? How you doing? Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
It's got a flooded canal.
Yeah, it really is flooded. What's going on? What's going on then? It's Venice.
Nice. This is our first true proper jacket of
the
field season.
Sorry, Luke.
That was in the way.
Nice.
I'm in the way. Get plaster on me.
I remember just like pouring like a quarter cup of water worth of plaster into Elliot Smith's eyes. And we were like both leaning over to under jacket the Hatter store. It's just like. Oh, that was rough. I would have freaked out way more than he did.
On that mosasaur that me and Doug were doing, I was holding up like under the lip burlap with all four of my limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that poor yoga like this. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all doing what he was doing. Because it just
that
would
undercut
not stay
there.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
It would not adhere. So we,
Sorry.
Once in a while, you good?
Wow.
Yeah. All right, you good.
This is going to be a heavy one, but that's the beautiful thing about this site is look how far we have to carry it to the truck.
Yep.
it next to that?
I mean, we could just back the truck up to this. We could get it even closer. Yeah. This is phenomenal.
It may be heavy, but it's not like flipping a 4,000-pound hadrosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
With a big 45-degree angle into the ground.
I don't know. You got Adele hadrosaur in. You can get this in.
What is where's your like weakest area on the other side? Like, I can just get you another. We made way too much.
What do you think, Doug?
No, we didn't make way too much. We made a little bit too much.
It's kind of okay up here. I mean,
okay.
Maybe like.
Okay, yeah, cross one. Yeah. Watch out, clip through.
Niffler says, "I feel like covered in plaster is Ethan's natural state."
I came out the womb like this.
I'm inclined to believe that.
It's true. I was there.
Yeah. Upstairs down says, "This looks like so much fun to do, but also nerve-wracking." I mean, you get used to it after a while.
My nerves are racked.
And of course, it depends on the jacket.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, and how much time you have left to do it, and how much supplies you have. And, worked at sites before where we've got like okay, we have to get all of these bones out today, and there's a thunderstorm rolling in, and we're running out of plaster. Yeah, it happens. Oh, it's okay. There's no thunderstorm. It's all right, Edie.
I didn't see that one. Yeah, Luke, I'll handle that one once it's out. Thanks, dog. Hey, Edie.
So someone had a question like, what's the next step after this? How do we get this out of the ground? And the answer is, once the plaster is dry,
we take it to a dumpster.
Once it's dry, we dig around it some more. We try to undercut it, so we kind of turn it into a great big mushroom, and then we flip it over, and then we carve the underside away like you saw Doug do earlier, and then we cover the bottom part of it with plaster-soaked burlap, so it's fully cocooned. So. We've got Luke acquiring some goop from here to, hey, what's your term of art for the thick stuff, Luke? Do you call it goop? What do you call it?
I like just goo.
Goo, okay.
My goo.
Luke's goo.
Merchants of goo.
I'm a goo merchant.
No, we are goo mongers.
Goo mongers.
Goo monger.
I would always just like...
There you go. So this is the. We don't have enough in here to do another burlap strip, and so just gonna wait till it thickens up a bit. You grab globs of it like that, and it is 420 right now.
Okay, we can get another cap. I'm gonna map his bone, and we're gonna cap that one too.
Nice.
We're just going hard, guys.
This is nice.
Yep.
This is excellent.
It's good when bones come out of the ground at a quick.
Yeah.
Oh. Get that thing going.
The goo mongers of.
We got a little bit more here.
Goomy. Ooh.
Douglas.
The goo squad. Well, there's Edie with the shovel there. Uh-oh. She's discovered the shovel. Got the shovel there, Edie? You got it? You got it? Oh. What is it, girl? Oh. Okay. All right, time to be calm. I know you're being very cute. Yeah, shh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Where are they?
That was nice.
Yeah, this could just be like the top layer, but I mean,
for the first few minutes, but if she's doing that all day, it does get a little old. Yeah. Oh. Thank you, AJ, for taking up the mantle there. Yeah.
Someone had to.
Oh, she landed on the rebar.
She hit the rebar? Ouch.
Ouch, puppy.
Poor baby.
Okay?
Oh, going back to death.
Yeah, now she's done with it.
Oh.
It's like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You okay?
You gotta be careful out here in the quarry. Oh.
That's how dogs are like, I'm sorry you hurt me.
Yeah. She did jump on that though.
Oh.
It's okay, I know. They're just so unintimidating.
It's alright. Oh. She'll be fine. Shoot.
You're so brave. You're so brave. Look, and Dad's right there.
Oh.
There's some neck scratches. Calm you down.
Oh, you did it.
I did it.
You like that yet? Dude, I didn't get through it there.
Funny dog.
Nice, okay.
Hell yeah. Oops.
You're good.
Heck yeah. I'm not a real person. Would you just look at this?
But you just look at it.
It's just like perfect size.
For what?
For a cake.
Good stuff. Is that a Gorgonopsian skull in your hand?
Oh.
Yep. That is super cool. I don't know if I've seen that one before, Doug. Maybe I forgot.
Hey, Doug.
That's awesome. Oh, we got a plastic bag trying to escape. We're in hot pursuit. Gotcha. No littering here at the site. We're not about that life. Do we have use for a plastic bag like this, or we want to toss it? I don't know. Put it in the action packer, or the generic action packer. Definitely blown away.
Ready for tomorrow.
The most likely apex predator for this formation, Albertosaurine or Daspletosaurine?
Me.
Colin.
Colin's pretty aggressive. I don't know.
That's a good question. It depends. So these rocks are about 73 million years old. If you're of the opinion that Tyrannosaurus comes from Asia and not from North America, then could be either here. But if you're of the opinion that Tyrannosaurus is descended from a North American ancestor, a Daspletosaurine, then we're more likely to have a Daspletosaurine as our big Tyrannosaur in this formation. Ethan might have an opinion, but he's pretty busy right now. Saurine? But I don't know. Yeah. What's the consensus on its origin at the moment? There is no consensus. It is highly contentious. We've had a few papers published just this year positing both of those different scenarios. So we'll see, we'll see. There's a chance we might get some rain here if those clouds come in this direction. We'll see. They are dropping some rain over there, it looks like. Anywho. Vex FX, how are you doing? Hello, hello. Yeah. And Langu 666, empty plastic bottles over those rebar sticks. I mean, we're just being careful right now, but it would be nice to get some of those mushroom cap things, the plastic ones that are built for capping rebar. Maybe we will, but I don't know. We're being careful. And hello, hello. Chill Z Monka, hello. How are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. And Pate B says, if consensus ever comes in paleoscience, does it pretty much only come in the form of research papers? Yes and no. I mean, scientific publications are the currency of our science, as they are in pretty much every science that I'm aware of. if something's not published, it might as well not exist to a certain extent. Yeah, and consensus usually comes through finding new fossils that will either falsify or support given hypotheses. And so we really kind of need more fossils to be able to really figure out this mystery. The stuff that we have right now, the reason why there is still controversy is that we don't have enough Tyrannosaur fossils from, pre-Maastrichtian times. Once we get some, maybe we'll find them this year, who knows? That should help clear things up a bit more. Yeah. Let me check on my battery pack, make sure it's not getting too low here. My encoder. Okay, that is getting kind of low. Let's plug her in. There we go. And are we getting charged? Let's see here. Make sure this is plugged in properly. Man, I need to charge the big battery pack tonight. Yeah. And we're getting a raid. 71 raiders from Amai Papico. Hey, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's great to have you here. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. We're here digging up what we think is a new species of armored dinosaur here, which we're very, very excited about. We're in southwest Wyoming, United States, and we've got a group of paleontologists and volunteers from all over the U.S. here, which is pretty cool. From as far west as California and as far east as Pennsylvania and New York. Got a good crew here, very good crew. Yeah. Anyway, how was your stream? I hope it was really good. I hope it was excellent. Anyway, Amai Papico, I hope you had an excellent stream. Let me know if you've got any questions. It's great to have you here. Yeah. Oh, nice trench.
We found something weird.
Yeah? Oh. Oh, interesting.
We have no clue what it is so far. But
it looks like bone?
Yeah, it could be.
They're saying maybe fish.
Maybe fish stuff. Look at a piece you can see. It's like black and glossy, and it's got like rectangular kind of septation on it.
Nice.
And so it's just like that's coming out in line. So I'm gonna take down this area so we can follow it more.
That's strange. I don't know what that is.
No idea.
Yeah. My first thought is turtle.
Yeah,
there's a little turtle right there.
We've got turtle there too? Nice, yeah, okay, that would make sense.
Possibly,
because we've got both inverts. This is a lacustrine environment, it seems like. Or, no, actually it's kind of sandy. Anyway, it's water, whatever it is, yeah.
Tidal stream bed.
Yeah.
Tidal lagoon.
Nice.
Yeah, I read a paper.
Yeah? Awesome.
I know what books are.
Yeah, I know how to read.
Yeah, I hope we might be able to get this out today if we stay a little later.
We're gonna follow this. So
okay.
We don't know
this
if that's
gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
So
nice. Okay.
We're
bad leaving this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
We'll just cover it up really nicely and hope for the best.
We'll bury it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd like to emphasize to any fossil poachers watching that is very much a federal crime to mess with a site like this on federal land.
No,
yeah.
Cool.
And we will find you. And
wow. Yeah, we will find you.
That's not a threat, that's a promise. Oh, and we got plastic here. Gotcha. Patrol. Yeah. Good stuff. Anywho, yeah. Yeah. Ooh. What we got, Clint?
Is it the 5th today?
It's the 5th, yeah.
Look at this.
Well. Ooh. What is this? This almost reminds me of, like caudal chevrons coming together near the distal part of the tail.
Okay.
And then I'll show Ethan.
I don't know. Yeah, I just looked at it. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys do they have double chevrons? I think they do, right? They kind of come together and they join at the end?
I have
This
no
bone?
idea.
Yeah.
It is a sweet little thing, though.
Could be part of a skull?
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Interesting. Nice work, Quinn. Yeah.
As long as we're moving her.
Cool.
Fun when you're trying to pedestal.
Yeah.
Just keep finding
things when you're trying to dig down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice finding new bones, but sometimes frustrating when you find bones where they're not supposed to be, where it gets in the way of your digging up another bone. That's what's going on right now. Yeah. And we will definitely not finish excavating this specimen today, Vexy. Now, this is going to take days, maybe weeks, depending on how many bones are here. And again, this could continue underneath there. We're not sure. Time will tell, and further digging will tell. Hey, it's okay, Edie. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. What are you looking at? What's out there? What do you smell? Good stuff. Jim says, very cool. Yeah, any idea what that was, Jim? That was, I don't know what that element is. Again, first guess is caudal chevrons. Could be skull, I don't know.
25.
Yeah. Oh, and Amon says, there are bones underneath this clay? Yes, indeed, yeah. So we've got one of those right here that's plain to see. Yeah. So this is,
A lot of it's kind of.
I think it's a thigh bone.
Not super relevant. Yeah.
Josh, would you mind pointing to the outline of our femur
Yeah.
here? Being our Vanna White?
There you go.
There we go, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Nice.
So this would be like. Where's the knee? It's like over here.
Yeah.
This right here would have gone into the hip socket. There you go.
So, thigh bone right there.
Human femur.
Excellent, thank you.
Femur. No
Appreciate it. So yeah, probably we think from a dinosaur like this, like a nodosaur. So the femurs are the thigh bones right here. So that might be what that is right there. Pretty exciting. And does your dog ever find bones? Oh, she's not my dog. This is Edie over here. And Edie belongs to Doug over there. And does she ever find bones? No, really. No. She's just here to hang out. But it's nice to have her around. It's always nice to have a dog in the quarry. Yeah. And Ms. Art Rules says, have you ever had a dinosaur with fossil leaves embedded onto it? Not yet, Ms. Art Rules, but the hadrosaur site that I was working yesterday, that's pretty close. I mean, there are fossil leaves from right next to some of the bones, which is unusual. But having leaves on the bones, never had that before, no. Generally, it requires different conditions to fossilize bones versus fossil leaves. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Just stream at La Brea Tar Pits. Oh, very cool, Bark Talk. Nice. I've done streams from there too. La Brea is really neat. They're in Hancock Park in Los Angeles. Yeah. And Mythic Mexican wants to know, could this be a predator's feeding field? Shoot, I hope not. Not while we're digging here. Yeah, we don't want to get eaten. Unless you're referring to during the Cretaceous, then possibly. Yeah. We haven't found any evidence of that yet, but maybe once we get these bones into the lab and get them cleaned and prepped, we could have bite marks on them. We might even end up finding some teeth, because when meat-eating dinosaurs are feeding, they would occasionally lose their teeth. They'd drop them. Oh, Edie. Hi. Yeah, how are you doing? So yeah, unlike us mammals, like me and Edith here, who keep our teeth for our entire adult lives, dinosaurs shed their teeth all the time. A lot of people are aware that sharks do this, but also I think lizards do this. I think snakes do that. Lots and lots of... Basically every other animal that has teeth that's not a mammal will shed their teeth and regrow them. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if it's everybody, but it's, you know, most tetrapods constantly replace their teeth throughout their lives. Dinosaurs were the same way. And so if you had a big tyrannosaur coming here and chomping down on these dead ankylosaurs, they might lose some teeth, and we might find their shed teeth here, almost like spent bullets at a crime scene, you know? If I want to run with that analogy. So yeah, time will tell. Maybe these guys did get chowed down on by a tyrannosaur. We'll see. Yeah. I would enjoy a third round of teeth, says Snow Denchi. Yeah. I was very pleased to finally be able to go to the dentist short